Okay, day 5. I am going to do a one set of every exercise for this workout. So it's not going to be a work along with me. It's going to be for form. The reason I'm not doing a work along is because I would technically go a little bit faster, and I want you guys to do the 3 sets as perfectly as you can in this workout. We're going to grab a little bit of a heavier weight for this one. I'm just grabbing my PDF so I have it beside me, as you'd probably want to do, especially if you're not doing the video for form. Once you've done the video a couple times, you honestly can move on to just knowing how to do these few staple exercises. The rest in between the set of 3 is very crucial. You're going to want to take that 90-second breather and rest. So we're going to go through the circuit of the first 2, squat and clean and the push press. And we're going to do anywhere from 8 to 12 repetitions, gearing more especially towards that last or that 3rd set of 8. But I don't start any heavy lifting, especially when I'm doing lower half, until I reset my hips. So I take my yoga block, I lie on my back, I have my feet about hip width or a foot away from my butt, and I put my feet close-ish together, but still being able to keep the block vertically. And I'm going to do a crack. I'm just going to squeeze and reset that pelvis. And I don't hear today any audible pop, which is great. That means I'm probably already kind of set up and ready to go. If I'm ever feeling off during a workout or a heavier lifting of squats and deadlifts, sometimes I will stop because then I'm warm and I will do another pubic symphysis reset. And a lot of times that's when I'll get my audible pop. So just because you didn't hear an audible pop doesn't mean it's completely balanced. It might just be tight and not warmed up from the night or wherever you're at during your day of your workout with me. So we're going to start with our heavier. I'm going to do heavier. And by heavier, it's not intense. It's not insane. It's 20 pounds because I'm going to do a squat to a clean. And when I take my heavier dumbbells, okay, we're going to stand wherever you're comfortable in your squat. Because I'm holding the weights by my side, I don't want to have my legs too far apart. And so when I don't have my legs very far apart, I turn my toes out a little bit more, keep my chest open, my shoulder blades down and resting behind and my back. Okay, I'm not pinching, just resting down. You're going to push your butt back, keeping your knees over top of your toes. This is your starting position. The weight's hanging in your fingers. You're going to explode up. As you explode up, the weights come to the shoulders with you. Weights come back down. That's your exhale and your explode. Watch you don't hit your shoulder. Keep your knee over top of your toes. Explode up. Okay, that's 3, but we're going to do 10 together. So I'm going to do it on this angle so you can see knees are over top of toes, feet in a little bit closer together, but toes are still gently turned out. Inhale, keeping my head neutral of my shoulders. Core is neutral. Explode up. That's 1. 2. Really fire up through the glutes. 3, your resting position. You're not letting your bum hang back here. You're keeping it underneath your body, squeezing through the glutes, breathing out and pulling the belly button in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's my 10. Keeping my weights over top of the shoulders. Keep the same weight or go a little bit lighter if you need. Bum goes back. Push. 1. That's the push press. 2, 3. Elbows underneath those hands and weights. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more for sure. 1 more. And setting it down carefully with bent knees. That's when you would take your 90-second breather. Take as much of a break as you need. If you need more than 90 seconds, awesome. Feel rested, feel strong, ready to go again. Okay? If you felt lower back or upper traps and neck, decrease your weight, focus on form, go a little bit slower, focus on your breath. From here, we're going to do a balance exercise. You can have something to hold on to if you need. I'm going to not, as you will watch me struggle, and that's okay. Struggling okay, right? So I'm going to balance on one leg. As I push my other leg back, I'm going to start on my left. I'm hinging through my hips. My core is neutral here, right? And I'm going to drive up. 1, 2. Feel that glute and inner thigh on this left side. 3. We've done this in a step back lunge version. Now we're actually doing it for balance. So it doesn't have to look pretty. Find a spot on the floor, balance at it. Stare at it for balance is what I meant. Last one. We're just doing 6 here. Really feeling that glute. If you're feeling the knee, push the hip back further, reach the leg back further, and drive it up. So with that same leg down, we're going to do bootstrappers. You're going to come with your leg in here. You're in a crouch position. My left leg is grounded. Okay. Work through that little bit of ankle mobility. Love this one. So you're going to come here and you're going to reach that right leg back up. Same leg we were just reaching back before, but you're going to feel that stretch in here. Once you're here, you can use a yoga block if you need a little bit more, right? If you don't quite go down like me with my short legs, you're going to be here and you're going to lift the toes. 1, 2. These are called bootstrappers. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and done. So I'm going to do about 6 or 8 of each one on each side. So here we go with our power back, right? So weight in the glute. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm warming up my core, my hip, and all my stabilizing muscles for my deadlifts and my bent over rows. Good. Come down into the crouch, right? Down into the crouch and lift. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6. I'm going for 8. 7, really lifting this toe. See how my knee, it's allowed to go over top of my toes. That's okay. And done. Glute and hamstring. All right. From that position, we are going to take a slow, stiff-legged deadlift. All right. Weighted lateral squat. Oh, yeah. And then elbows bent over row. Okay. So then there's a lot happening here. So grab a medium weight to start for your first set so you make sure that you are 100% okay with the technique. Stiffer legged deadlift, it's not knees locked. Knees are still soft, right? Never have I done anything with a locked knee. So stiff just means straighter than your bent knee deadlift. Okay, you're going to press that weight back, keep the weights nice and close to your sides. I feel a little stretch in my hamstrings, but I don't want a huge stretch in my hamstrings. I just want a little stretch. Pull the core, make sure it's in. You're not feeling your lower back. Drive it up, thrust the hips forward. Lock those shoulder blades down. Pull through with the belly button, pull through with the glutes. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. You can inhale through the mouth if you want. I just like making a habit of my nose. Really breathing it out. 4 nice slow controlled movements, like a 3 or 4 second down. You can go maybe 2 seconds up. Doesn't have to be an explosion up. It just needs to be strong up, right? Make sure the weight is kind of even. You're not lifting up through the toes. The toes are still grounded. You're trying that trifecta of stability through the feet. Big toe, pinky toe, and heel. 2 more. Squeeze it all the way up and through where you haven't finished that rep. Boom, right here. Okay? With the weight still in your hands, or you can take a little break in between, it's up to you. You're going to hold the weights over your shoulders. You're going to go into a wider stance. We're going to do a side lunge and a side lunge. Notice I'm not going down very far. This is for the strength of those bigger muscles at the origin of the hip and the insertion at the knee. My knee is maintaining that support over top of my ankle. My body and hip follow over top of that knee, no further, right? Using my body to support my core to support the weight of my head and shoulders, and this access 40 pounds over top. 2 more each way. Oh, for this one, you only have to do the 10 or 12 reps, meaning 5 or 6 on each side. Okay, setting the weights down for half a second. Just to give more of your grip strength a little bit of a break, I take sometimes 20 or less here. Usually a good 3 breaths is a good rest indicator. Once you've taken your 3 or 5 breaths, nice light grip, you're going to go into a little bit of a wider stance for stability. Sit that butt back, neutral spine, so you're not here and your tailbone certainly isn't up. You're finding that neutral spine. Inhale, pull, nice wide elbows. Pull with those elbows. This is when you can squeeze your shoulder blades somewhat together, but still keeping them down. Gaze is out in front of you. Your lobes stay between shoulders. 6 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And done. Standing up, locking into that position, and then keeping the weights by your side as you sit down. I was just trying something different there. Went up on my toes, wasn't quite ready for it. All right, grab that drink break. This is another 90-second breather. You would go through and do that set of 4 exercises 2 more times, so 3 altogether. And each time it's going to get easier and harder, right? Like the breath work is going to get easier, the form is going to get better, but the weight that we lift is going to get heavier, the speed that we go is going to slow down a little bit, right? Because you're going to have that control and you're going to have that comfort with the exercise, and you're going to really be intrinsically inside thinking about all the muscles and how they're working together. All right. After you've done 2 more sets of each of those first groups, your lower body's going to be pretty fatigued. So now we're going to burn out that upper body shoulder area. So we have the nice kind of shoulder look, but we don't want to use our upper traps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 12-pound weights, but I would probably do this one on my own if I didn't have to talk through it with probably a 17 or a 15. So use your own discrepancy of what feels good. Start lighter for the first set and then increase as you go. But we're not doing more than 12 repetitions. So we really want to be fatigued even on the first set at that 12 repetition range. So alternating front raise. I'm going to come and stand just nice and strong. My core is gently engaged. My glutes are gently engaged. I have a grip on the weight, but it isn't a death grip. My shoulders are down and by my side. Tips of my shoulder blades are in my back pockets. I'm able to breathe and open up my ribs and exhale and somewhat get my body to relax. From this position, I take a starting inhale and I exhale as I alternate my lift. Notice I'm not coming up a lot higher than my shoulder, if any. I just want to engage the anterior deltoid and across that subscap subclavicular area of my collarbone, right? My earlobes are neutral. Every time I go up, I have to engage the core. So I'm not swinging my lower back and spine around. Good. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2. At this point, because you probably have a good heavy weight, it's a struggle, but that's perfect. That's what we want. We don't want to feel those upper traps. If we do, we just don't go as high, or we're automatically done. Okay, so there's your repetitions, your 6 to 8 per side. And now we're going to go straight into a lateral raise. So arms are out in front of us. Okay, I like to have my weights, my dumbbells kind of just in front of my quads. Then I know my elbows are in line with my shoulders, my armpits. You don't want to be back here, because as soon as you do this, see how my upper traps instantly kick in because my shoulders are rolled forward in that shoulder girdle. So you're going to be here. Lead up. I'm leading up with my thumbs and my elbows at the same time, but the work is happening from my shoulder to my elbow. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That is all I can do. I start feeling a strain in my mid back and up into my neck. So I'm like, all right, I'm done. So maybe I wouldn't grab heavier weights, right? It all depends on the day, and everybody is different from one day to the next. So dumbbell drag plate. I love this one. So you're going to go into a plank, okay? And you're going to be over top, okay? And you're going to reach through and pull the dumbbell. If you're on carpet, you can just gently lift it. Keep yourself over top. Keep yourself pressed away from the floor. Right? Kind of gets loud, me banging it around with my mic this close, so I'm just going to drag it now. Try and stabilize through your core, glutes, abs, quads, all getting engaged. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. It doesn't have to be a heavy weight, just something to pull across your body to start working through those rotational muscles in your spine that are kind of holding us together and holding us upright, that allow us to do these types of movements. After you've done the drag, you're going to do a walk through and kick. So this is one of my favorites. Once we lift heavy, we also want to keep the stabilizers stable, but the little guys and the big guys moving functionally. So here's our functional move. So we're going to go into a plank. You're going to step the outside leg in. You're going to walk through, tap. If you want to get have some fun with your hip flexor, your mobility of your lumbar spine, you're going to be here. Walk through into kind of a wide lunge. Boom. Okay, you can do this one also on a yoga block. Gives you a little bit more range of motion in the hip flexor. Okay, the hardest part is just going around that. Right, kind of fun. Boom. You're only going to do 12 of these. So 6 each side, right? Stepping in. Ooh. Ooh. They're hard even on the yoga block. Good. So the beginner move also too can be here, and then just bring the leg in. That's a great place to start. You don't have to get into that full extension, right? Just coming into that rotational pattern while we're opening up through that lower lumbar spine. Okay, very important to have mobility and strength and stability all at the same time. Okay, so getting our brain wrapped around that. That's your third set of 4. So alternating lateral raise into that lateral raise with the same weight. So it's going to fatigue those delts, right? And then we did the drag the plate, and then we did the walk through kicks. Doing that 2 times more through after your 90-second rest at the end of all 4 of them. and you should have a good 30-minute workout.